morning, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. So, the topic that we will discuss is about tourism promotion. So, what is promotion? So, according to Belch and Belch 2008, promotion is the coordination of all seller-initiated efforts to set up channels of information and persuasion to sell goods and services or promote an idea. So, ang promotion daw po is the every business's initiative uh, to inform or persuade their customers. And they also use promotion as a strategy or method to introduce their um, products or services sa kanilang mga potential customers or sa kanilang mga target market. So, ang isa sa mga example ng promotion is yung sa Milzar. So, di ba may pumunta sa ating isang tao from Milzar para mag-sell ng voucher. So, isa yun sa way nila para ma-introduce or para ma-promote yung business nila sa atin in order to increase their tourist visits. So, ganun din sa mga businesses. Mapa-product man yan o mapa-services. So, ginagamit nila yung promotion as a strategy or method para mas lumago or para mas makilala yung business nila. So, that is the promotion. So, now, the next topic is about the promotional tools. So, the promotional tools will be discussed by the next reporter.
So, good day everyone. Let's proceed to my topic, which is advertising. Advertising is a form of mass communication paid by identified sponsor to communicate and give message about their organization, products, and services. So, advertising have three objectives, which is to inform, to persuade, and to remind. The first one, to inform. This type of advertising is crucial, especially on launching a new product or services. It aims to inform and educate the target market about the product, features, and its benefits. The second one is to persuade. Persuasive advertising aims to influence customers' behavior and attitude toward products or services. It focuses on creating desire or need to the advertised item. And the third one is to remind. To remind is a advertising strategy that focuses on keeping a brand or product on the top of mind of the target customers. It gives awareness and reminders of a product's availability and benefits. So now let's proceed to the types of advertising executions. So when you see our PPT, the types of advertising execution is self-explanatory. So I'm gonna give you example para mas maintindihan niyo yung advertising executions. So number one is a slice of life, shows how people use the product on a normal setting. Example for this is dry dishwashing liquid, which is shows a normal kitchen setting where the product can use. Though the second one is lifestyle, shows how product fits with one way of life. So the best example for this is the Nike product. So the Nike company have different kinds of product for each phase of life. For example, you're a basketball player, an athlete, or a volleyball player. So they have different kinds of product for you to use. The third one is fantasy. Creates wonder world around the product or its use. The best example for this is the Pita biscuit commercial. The old lady fairy that gave half red sports car. So it's a fantasy that you would wonder how can a old lady give you a red sports car. So the next one is mood or image. Build positive image or mood around the product, such as beauty, love, fun, and serenity. Example for this is shampoos in Philippine commercials. Yung pag naaamoy ng isang guy, yung mabango na buhok ng isang babae, they would fall in love, so it will create a positive image to a girl's customer's mind. The fifth one is musical. Uses simple but catchy music effectively through product jingles or songs. So, one of my fave commercial when I was a kid was the Downy commercial, the Rabadabango jiggle of Downy. Number 6, personality. Creates a character that represents the product. The best example for this is the Jollibee. Jollibee is known for being the happy bee. Number 7, technical expertise. Reveals company expertise with the products or services. So, the best example for this is the Apple products. So, they create mobiles that is quality na kapag narinig natin na Apple product, usually ang nasa isip na natin is quality ang product. Number 8 is scientific evidence. Present research or scientific evidence that brand is better than competing brands. Example for this is using brand X to compare the product and prove that their product is much better. So, last but not the least is the testimonial evidence. Features a highly credible person such as celebrity endorsing. So, this type of execution often used in TikTok affiliate, they use influencer to advertise their products. So, that's all.
Hello everyone, I am Shani Gimbe Maala and I will discuss the direct marketing. What is direct marketing? Direct marketing is an interactive system of marketing that uses one or more advertising media to affect a measurable response. It seeks to establish continuing relationships between a company and its regular customers. Offers are sent to a customer database of people who are most able, willing, and ready to buy the product. So basically, ang direct marketing, ito yung paraan ng pagbibenta kung saan is diretso na agad sa customer na may malaking chance na bumili ng product mo. Ito is walang middleman or tinatawag na third party kagaya ng mga retail store. So, kadalasan dito is yung mga nag-purchase na or nag-inquire na dun sa product mo at kadalasan din dito is yung mga subscriber ng isang business. It helps businesses reach the right customer and layunin din ito na makuha agad yung response which is yung pag-purchase at pag-inquire dun sa product. Sa madaling salita, diretsong approach sa target market or alam nilang may kakayahan bumili ng product mo. So example ng direct marketing na ginagamit ng mga businesses para ma-reach yung kanilang mga target market is nagpapadala sila ng email promotion, text messages, marketing, and online ads na may nakalagay na book now or click here with link. Ang direct marketing is super effective then when it comes in tourism industry. So for example, isa isang resort sa Palawan is meron silang list or database ng mga customer na nag-book na sa kanila dati. So magpapadala sila doon ng text message na nakalagay doon is, for example, is, "Hi Luisito, miss ka na namin dito sa Coral Reef Resort, enjoy the 40%, ganyan. And yung mga information nakalagay na din doon and yung link ng pag-book. So, ganun lang kadali yung pag-approach sa mga customer. Hindi mo na kailangan na mag-offer sa mga hindi naman interesado sa product mo. Yung direct ma-reach yung target market mo and generate the measurable response from the target audience such as purchase or pag-inquiry. Mas effective yung ganitong strategy dahil makikita mo specifically kung may willing ba bumili ng product mo. Let us proceed in the history of direct marketing. Early stages in 1800s. Mail order catalog, slow and inefficient. So before, ang way nila ng pagda-direct marketing ay nagpapadala sila ng catalog sa mga target market nila. Ang catalog is para siyang brochure, but ang brochure is mini advertisement lang, and ang catalogs naman ay broaden. Kumbaga, ang catalog ay para siyang online shop, at dun sa isang catalogs is merong laman ng lahat ng product ng isang shop sa online. Ganun ang catalog. Dati ay ang mga businesses ay nagpapadala lang ng mga sulat sa mga target market nila, and yung mga customer naman nila ay nagre-response lang, gamit lang din ang sulat. So imagine, 'di ba, sa pagsasulat lang before na ang pinapadala matagal mag-process. Imagine gano'ng katagal yun since this began in 1800s. In modern era naman, databases, personal messaging, and target campaigns. Ang direct marketing is nag-evolve na in direct response at direct relationship marketing. Ginagamit ng mga airline, hotel at resort ang mga loyalty program at customer database para ma-personalize ang ino-offer nila sa individual customer. So dati in general ang pag-approach sa mga sa marketing, isang uri lang ng advertisement ang ginagamit para sa lahat. Ngayon, para ma-customize ang mga ino-offer na product at mas exact na matarget ang specific segment ng market, ginagamit ang data from customer database. Because of the technology, nakakakolek ang isang company ng data from the customers at users, kaya alam na nila kung ano ang gusto ng mga customers at ano ang binibili nila. So gumagamit sila ng direct marketing para mag-offer ng mga product na suit sa kanilang preferences. Nagkakaroon din ng target campaign na ang focus is yung mga target audience na may magkakaparehas na interest at the same time, nagbibuild din sila ng customer relationship and loyalty sa kanilang mga customer. The last one is key advancements. Faster communication, technology, and improved transportation. Because of advanced technology, mas naging mabilis, convenient, at efficient ang way ng pagmamarket. Gamit ang data at technology, mas nagagawa ng mga company na mag-offer ng mga product at service na gusto talaga at needs ng mga customer. At naglilid yun sa mas mataas na customer loyalty at repeat purchases.
So next, let's talk about the advantages of direct marketing. We have here 8 advantages of direct marketing. First is the precision targeting. So precision targeting is direct marketing lets you focus on the exact group of people who are most likely to buy your product or service. This means your efforts and money aren't wasted on people who aren't interested. Like for example is yung mga sportswear, mga athlete wear na instead of advertising it broadly, they use social media like Instagram ads to targeting users like yung mga fitness instructor, laging mga nag-gym and mga athletes. So because of that ads, it showcase product matches those users activities like yung mga yoga for yoga enthusiasts and mga compressions wear for runner. So next is advantages is personalized messages. So personalized messages is a person's name is the sweetest words in the world. So prospective customer will definitely read through material when their name is on it. Addressing specific customers personally will capture their attention than generic and random messages. Like for example, nakakuha ka ng email na nagsasabing, "Hi Maria, here's your 20% of your favorite lipstick." So you're more likely to open and use than a generic messages like sales on makeup. It feels like the brand knows what you like. So next naman na advantages, 3 advantages is the privacy. So privacy, since direct marketing is sent privately through mail or email, phone, your competitors won't know what kind of deals or offers you're giving out. So that way, they can copy or beat your offer. Like for example, if kung nagra-run ka man ng clothing store and send exclusive discount to your loyal customer by email. So, hindi alam ng mga competitors mo na nag-send ka nung ganong offer. And hindi nila yon malalaman because it's privacy. So, fourth advantages is the faster sales. So, faster sales, because you're sending messages directly to people who already need or want your product, they are more likely to buy quickly. It's like knocking on the right door, not every door in the neighborhood. So, like for example, is yung coffee shop na nag-send sila ng buy one get one free coupon to people who signed up their newsletter. Since these people are already like the coffee, many of them will use the coupon the same week. So next is the variety of packaging option. So variety packaging option is direct marketing lets businesses use different kinds of packaging like boxes, yung mga envelopes or anything. So, to make the messages more attractive to the customer. So, the nicer or more interesting the packaging, the more likely people will um, open and read it. So, it depends on how creative the business is and how much they want to spend. Next advantages is less competition from other media content. So dito, when people get direct mail or email or a personal message, there's less distractions than with TV or social media or billboards. It's easier to grab their attention because they're not competing with 100 others apps. Like for example, some person checks their email or mailbox and sees a colorful brochure from a newspaper, and they're likely to look through it because it's the only thing in their hand, unlike scrolling through Instagram where ads come and go quickly. Next advantages is the immediate result. So immediate result is a direct marketing often includes a call to actions like call now, use this code today, or click here to order. So when people respond, you can see the result very quickly. Like for example, it's a pizza. Please send out SMS text at 5 p.m. with a code for a 30% discount if ordered before 7 p.m. So people dahil gusto yung mga tao, they see the messages and um, within that hour, parang na-sold agad yung pizza nila. So, last advantages is measurability. So, measurability is you can easily track how many people respond to your campaign. So, because of that, it helps you know what worked and what it didn't. So, you can do even better next time. Like for example, you email a special offer with a promo code to a 1,000 customers. So after a few days, you see that 150 people use the code. Now you know the campaign got a 15% response rate, and that's measurable success.
Elements of direct marketing campaign. Number one is list. Accurate, updated, and targeted contract information of potential customers. Having the correct contact information for people interested in your product. It's like having the right address to deliver a package. An accurate or outdated list is a waste of effort. Number two, message. Customized and engaging must capture attention quickly. Your message need to be clear, concise, and compelling. It's like writing a captivating advertisement that grabs attention and highlight the benefits of your product. Nang dito sa message, dapat clear mong masabi kung ano yung in-offer mo dun sa iyong business or dun sa product mo para mag-benefits yung product mo at makakuha din ng attention ng customer. Sa number 3, offer. Interesting and time limited to encourage immediate action. You need to give people a good reason to buy. This could be a discount, a special deal, or something else that make product stand out. This like offering a special discount to encourage a purchase. For example, is nagbibigay tayo ng buy one take one para mas dumami pa yung bumili para ma-encourage sila na bumili ng product natin. And last is measure of success. One of the advantages of direct marketing as a promotional tool is its measurability. A proper executed direct marketing campaign can be measured in several ways. Three ways ng measure of success. Number 1 is the number of inquiries generated. Number 2, the ratio of conversions or purchase realized from inquiries generate. And number 3 is communication impact. Dito sa tatlong to na para maging success yung isang business is dito nakikita kung ilan na yung inquire ilan na yung percent ng nag-purchase ng business or ay ng product or services na in-offer mo, at dito rin makikita yung feedback ng manggagaling sa customer kung ano ba yung kailangan baguhin. Sa tatlong ito, dito mo makikita kung ano yung kailangan baguhin para mag-stand out yung business natin, yung product natin or services na ating ino-offer para maging successful yung business.
So next is personal selling. So personal selling involves direct and face-to-face communication between a salesperson and a potential customer aimed at meeting the customer's need in exchange for payment. So yung sales representative or salesperson act as the bridge between the companies or the business and its clients. So, shaping the company's image through their interaction. So, yung personal selling is when the salesperson talks directly to a customer to help them choose or buy something. So, it's like a friendly conversation kung saan nalalaman ng salesperson kung ano nga ba yung kailangan or gusto ng isang customers. And dun sila nag-o-offer or ino-offer nila yung kung ano yung best products or services na meron sila. And even though it can be expensive for the companies or the business, but it really works well, especially in tourism, dahil gusto ng mga tao or ng mga clients na magtanong at gusto din nila na magkaroon ng personal na tulong or idea na bago sila mag-avail or kumuha ng product na ino-offer or inaalok sa kanila. So, yung example na nga dito is yung si Sir na pumunta sa atin nung nakaraan para magbenta ng package nila. So, ang tawag dun is personal selling kasi nakipag-direct and face-to-face siya sa ating mga students para mag-alok or mag-offer ng package na meron sila. So, si Sir, siya yung salesperson and siya yung bridge between the customers and the company. So, yung customer is tayo and siya yung nag-explain or nagpapaintindi sa atin kung bakit natin kailangang i-avail or bumili nung ino-offer nila sa kanilang company or dun sa kanilang business. And kaya si Sir nandun para mas ma-explain pa niya natin kung ano nga ba or kung ano yung meron doon sa mga companies natin, kung ano yung mga positive na bakit kailangan i-avail natin to, and tinulungan niya tayo and nagbigay pa din siya ng mga explanation about dun sa package na binibenta or in-offer nila dun sa kanilang destination, which is yung Malzar. So next is targeting. So since time and resources are limited, sell people or sell person need to focus on the most promising prospect, those more likely to buy them. So ako nga as a travel agent is nakikita ko na yung summer is approaching na. So magpo-focus ako dun sa mga students who are more likely to travel during school break or academic break. So instead of retirees who are prepared of season trips. So next is communicating. So staying in touch with customer is important. Serve person, give updates, answer questions, and maintain relationships to the customer. So for example is me as a travel agent, magsisend ako sa mga social media updates about dun sa mga upcoming promos and new tour package na meron yung mga resorts or yung business na meron kami. And also, magre-reply ako dun sa mga inquiries nila sa Facebook and follow-ups with interested clients. So next is selling. So selling this is the main job of the salesperson. This is presenting the product, handling questions or doubts, and closing the deal. So for example is, ako nga is, merong group of students na nag-visit dun sa page and naghahanap sila ng mga peaceful and adventurous package or destination. So ako naman as a travel agent, i-explain ko sa kanila yung mga different kinds of peaceful and adventurous destination or package. And also, mag-offer ako sa kanila ng mga discounts and answer their questions about the travel safety and also dun sa mga bookings na meron yung business or yung resort. So next is servicing. So after selling, the salesperson should help solve problems and give advice, not just take order. So for example is yung client is nag-book siya, so na-miss niya yung kanilang travel o yung flight. So ako naman as a travel agent is i-help ko sila para ma-rebook or ma-reschedule yung, and also iko-contact ko yung hotel nila para ma-adjust yung check-in nila, and also magbibigay ako ng suggestion para kung ano yung mga gagawin nila during the lost time. So next is information gathering. So information gathering is salesperson collect useful info about what competitors are doing or what customer wants. So for example is ako nga is nakita ko or nalaman ko na yung competitors namin is nag-o-offer ng mas cheap na packages. So ako naman is i-inform ko yung manager ko, and also magsasuggest din ako kung ano yung pwedeng i-offer or kung ano yung mas okay dun sa mga customer ko. So mag-o-offer ako ng, for example, is it free tickets or free hotels, ganyan. So the last is allocating. Allocating is if there's not enough supply, salesperson help decide which customer get the product based on value and loyalty. So for example is a popular island tour only has 10 slots. So me as a travel agent, mayroong 15 customer na gustong pumunta dun sa private island or dun sa popular island. So ako naman as a travel agent, ipa-priority ko yung nakapagbigay na or nakapagbayad na sa kanila, and dun sa mga nakapag-book na through their agency or dun sa kanilang page na meron sila sa kanilang business.
Good morning, everyone. I will be discussing selecting sales strategies. Pagdating sa selecting sales strategies, dito mo ma-maximize or dito mo makikita kung nag-grow ba effectively ang iyong business. Ang strategy na to is makaka-help din sa company mo to focus on their effort in a most productive way. The first strategy is prevent erosion of key accounts. Pag sinabing key account, ito yung mga VIP account mo or laging bumibili sa business mo or yung parang loyal customer na tinatawag. The first one strategy is prevent erosion of key account. Pag sinabing key account, ito yung mga VIP client ng isang business mo or laging bumibili sa mga product mo or silang tinatawag na loyal customer. They are the one that bring the most money and keep our business stable. We need to make sure that they are happy or kailangan mo silang, pag pumapasok sila sa business mo, kailangan mo silang i-greet ng maayos para hindi sila lumipat sa ibang competitors o hindi sila mag-switch sa ibang mong competitors. For example, is bibigyan mo sila ng discount or great service palagi when it comes pag dumarating sila sa business mo or sa company mo. Ang magandang example nitong number 1 is software company. Diba? They might be a large corporation that buys their software for all its employees. Siyempre, kung gusto niya na maraming mag-avail sa software nila, dapat ang software nila ay nagpo-provide ng excellent customer service or regular update ng isang technology. And maybe even offer specialized training to keep that corporation as a customer. The second one is grow key account. Hindi lang naman basta natin ikikip ang ating mga VIP account or yung tinatawag nating loyal customer. Need din natin na ma-expand ang ating business with them and adding more big clients like them. Magagawa natin to by selling them more products or services na tinatawag nating upselling or by turning some of our smaller, promising clients into key account. The best example for this is going back tayo dun sa example natin sa number 1 na yung software company. Mag-grow ang kanilang key account by selling them additional software modules or by convincing another large corporation with similar needs to become a new key account or VIP client. The third strategy is grow selected marginal accounts. Marginal accounts are the smaller clients that give us some business but not as much as the key account. Sila yung smaller key account na hindi gano'n nagpo-purchase ng isang product ang isang business. In this case, mas maganda mag-focus din sa kanila ang marginal account na may potential na mag-grow para maging key account na din and buy more from us in the future. Siyempre, mag-iisip tayo ng idea kung paano natin sila hihikayatin.
Of course, for example, ang magandang example dito is yung clothing line. Kunwari, ako si Ella, laging bumibili ng damit na same lang din naman yung shirt, na binibili ko, pero hindi ako ganun gumagastos. Si Ella is kukunin ang email niya, then ang strategy is mag-send ng mga damit na binibili niya or magdi-discount sa kanya or o-offeran siya ng iba pang product na sa mas mababang presyo kapag marami yung mga nabili niya or magbibigay ng discount. The fourth one is eliminate selected marginal account. Ang pagkakaintindi ko dito is hindi man ganun ka-worth it mag-keep ng customer. Some marginal account may not be profitable even if we try to sell more to them. May mga smaller account kasi or mga customer kasi na hindi ganun nag-aaksaya ng budget. Dito, need natin mag-eliminate or mag-recognize when an account is costing us more time and resources than it's worth. So we can focus our effort elsewhere. Gandang example dito is bakery. Ang bakery might find that supplying bread to a very distant small shop is costing them too much in delivery fee and time. They might decide to eliminate that account and instead focus on supplying to shops closer by. Parang know your worth ba? Ang ibig sabihin nito, sa bakery, di ba, nagsusupply sila sa ibang lugar na malalayo, pero konti lang yung binibili nila. So, ibig sabihin, yung lugar na yun is i-eliminate mo para mag-focus ka na lang sa ibang lugar na malapit naman, pero marami silang nabibili or maraming nasusupply sa bakery mo. The fifth strategy is retain selected marginal account with lower cost sales support. Even though some marginal accounts don't bring in a lot of money, they can still be worth keeping if they don't require much effort to maintain. We can keep this account happy with less frequent contact or by using more efficient, less expensive ways of serving them. For example nga is bakery. The bakery might continue to supply bread to a small local shop, but instead of daily deliveries, they switch to deliveries 3 times a week. This reduces delivery costs but still keeps the shop as a customer. Ibig sabihin ng retain selected marginal account is parang nagpo-focus kayo sa isang business na yon sa malayo, yung isang business na nagsusupply sa inyo, pero ang gagawin nyo is, kunyari ay nag-deliver kayo sa kanila ng maunting supply so that ang mas magandang gawin na lang is 3 weeks na lang ang kada deliver para hindi ganun nag-aaksaya sa oras. The last strategy is obtain new business from selected prospects. It's crucial to always be looking for new customer to grow our business. Syempre, mahirap naman talaga maghanap ng customer lalo na pag una ka pa lang sa business. This means finding potential customers who have never bought from us before and convincing them to do so, as well as getting more business from our existing customers. Maghahanap ka ng mga potential buyers mo or customers mo sa iyong business para magbili sila sa product mo or mag-convince ganon. Ang gawin na lang is yung mga discount nga. Best example ng last strategy is bakery. The bakery could try to get new business by contacting restaurants that don't currently buy their bread or by advertising their product at a local food fair. Ang ibig sabihin nito is magkokontak kayo ng ibang restaurant or magpo-promote kayo ng inyong product para mag-buy sila sa inyo or mag-promote via social media or any social media account. Conclusion, these sales strategies provide a roadmap for businesses to manage their customer relationship effectively, maximize sales, and achieve sustainable growth. Gaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, ang selecting sales strategy is dito mo malalaman or dito mo ma-maximize kung yung business mo is nag-grow ba effectively. By understanding when to focus on key accounts, nurture marginal account, or seek new business, companies can use their resources wisely and succeed in the marketplace. Dito mo rin malalaman kung yung effort mo ba is worth it or in a most productive way.
So now we start talk about 7 steps of sale process. First is prospecting and qualifying prospect. So it means it's finding a possible customer and checking if they are likely to buy. Example, asking classmates if they want to buy your product, and then choosing those who are interested and can pay. Second is pre-approach. So it's mean learning about the customer needs before you offering selling. So example, find out what school supplies a classmate needs before offering your item. The third is approach. So this is when the seller talks to the customer for the first time. So it's important to be polite, friendly, and of course respectful. So example, you get a classmate nicely when offering your snacks or sale during break time. Fourth is presentation and demonstration. So it means kung paano mo daw ipapakita at i-explain yung product mo sa customer mo and kung paano ito makakatulong sa kanila. And then you should listen carefully lalo na sa mga reaction nila o sa mga katanungan nila. So example, you show your classmate how your homemade bookmark works and explain why it's better than store bought ones. Next is negotiation and overcoming objective. This is when the buyer and seller talks to agree on a fair deal. And customer might be have concern about price, product, and simplify not be interested. And we need to listen, explain, and give the solution. Example, a classmate say your product item is pricey. So you offer a discount or freebie. Next is closing the sale. So this is when the seller asks the customer to confirm deal. So example, I reserve one for you. So now to get a discount. And the last is follow up and maintenance. After the sale, the seller check if the customer is happy and offer help if needed. Example, I message my friend to ask if she liked the product and she needed more than I offer.
So let's talk about public relations. Public relations in tourism involve building and maintaining a positive image of a place, business, or attraction. Instead of using paid advertisements, or it utilizes free media and effective communication to attract tourists. So, public relations in tourism is all about creating and maintaining a good image of tourism destination, business, or attraction. Instead of spending a lot of advertisement, PR focuses on building trust and spreading information through free media like news, social media, and community events. The main goal is to make people interested in visiting us and supporting the place. So let's go with objective of PR in tourism. Image enhancement. Present the destination in positive light. So to present to tourism destination in positive and appealing way to attract visitors. The second one is build trust. Build trust is provide honest and transparent information to earn trust and support of the public. So meaning to say, to provide accurate and honest information so that people feel confident and supported in choosing the destination. The third one is crisis. Crisis management. Handle issue like disaster or controversies in a calm or organized way. So, to enlighten, it is to respond effectively to problems such as natural disaster, negative news, and or other emergencies to protect destination reputation. Number 4 is community support. Gain support from the local community. So, to involve local residents and businesses, making them feel part of the tourism efforts and encouraging their cooperation. And last one is information dissemination. inform people about events, festival, or new attraction. Meaning to say, to inform the public about events, festivals, new attraction, or update that might interest tourism. So this la- so PR in tourism. Number 1 is press release. So press release, sending news to media outlet. Meaning to say, a written announcement sent to the media to share news about the destination such as upcoming events, achievements, or new attraction. The second one is media tours. Inviting bloggers or journalists to see and promote the place. Inviting journalists, blogger, or influencers to visit and experience the place firsthand so they can share their positive stories and review with wider audience. The third one is public events. Organize or participating in tourism fair and events. Number 4 is posting, update, and engaging with audience. Newsletter, and brochure, disturbing information to tourists and local. And the last one is community engagement, collaborating with residents to promote cultural and environmental preservation. That's all. Thank you.
Next, we have sales promotion. Sales promotion refers to a marketing activities designed to stimulate immediate sales. It involves a variety of short-term incentive to encourage customers to purchase a product or service. These promotions are distinct from long-term branding or advertising campaigns. It encompasses a wide range of marketing techniques designed to stimulate short-term sales and boost customer engagement. It is a crucial component of the marketing mix, working alongside advertising, public relations, and direct marketing to achieve overall marketing objectives. Unlike long-term branding efforts, sales promotion focus on immediate results. For example, yung pre-shipping, pag-i-execute ng shipping fee. 'Di ba may mga nakikita kayo sa mga online platforms like TikTok, yung gumagawa ng promotion videos ng product nila, then sasabihin nila na naka-free shipping sila, mas pinamura kung tulad ng dati product nila 250, then sabihin nila naka-free shipping sila ngayon, then magiging 170 na lang yung product nila. Yun po yung example ng free shipping, or example po ng sales promotion. Yung pag-promote ng product nila, then sabihin po nila naka-sales, or tulad nito, naka-free shipping po, ganun, ganyan. Thank you po.